What's going on, everybody? Here we go. Hey, there you are.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So it's so funny when you said, "Oh, I'm putting the kids to sleep between 7:30 and 8." I'm like, "Oh, yes, that's exactly my schedule." It's like, so I totally relate to that. So how old are your kids again?
Kyla is 9 next week, and Emery is 3.
Oh, happy birthday! That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Max is going to be 2 in April, and it's
Oh
like
my gosh,
it's
already
it's, it's a
2?
lot. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, right. It's like now he's like getting into my office, going on my phone nonstop.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
before we go forward, I wanted to say thank you so much for the recommendation.
Yeah, you love it?
Oh, love it. It's my favorite gi. It's
Fuji
well,
for
as you know,
lover.
like not all gis are the same. Like,
I
especially
agree.
like the lighter ones they could
Yeah.
wear. This one doesn't get
Sorry.
starchy. It didn't shrink on me. So like
Nice.
Fuji gis, guys, check it out. Definitely check that out.
Gang, Fuji gang.
Yeah. So basically what this is like I did this last week. My friend Brad, he owns a school in Texas. I kind of mentioned about, and I know I vaguely mentioned like it's going to be kind of like the did you see that show on Netflix that Jerry Seinfeld has, riding in cars, drinking coffee with
I haven't
comedians?
watched TV in about 3 years.
Got you. Well, it's just real light, conversation. Not going to ask anything. I'm not looking to like spotlight. It's just for me to like just do stuff with MMA again, and like BS about
Cool.
MMA, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, I
So,
want to ask you what you've been up to. We
oh
missed you at
man,
the
yeah.
gym, man.
Well, well, the job and the baby, but like I got it. I was in the gym wrestling with Michael Mako, who's like bigger than me now. Like,
Dude, can you believe that? Michael Mako is Steve Mako's son, everybody. And like literally 3 weeks ago, I could whoop on him. And now oh God, this is so hard for me to admit. He
foot swept you.
He like blast doubled me the other day. And I was like, my ego.
He foot swept me, and it was like picture perfect.
I know.
And like,
It's
when I was training full time, nobody was foot sweeping me.
Yeah.
Like,
I do train full time, and he still blast doubled me.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid's huge, by the way. Right?
Yeah, he's 14.
He's Mako's child. So.
Yeah.
But he's in 8th grade. Like,
yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember when Steve, when they were young, him and Peter, when Steve was like teaching them, tie up work, stuff like that, and he's like, I want to teach them with a body they're going to grow into. And I was like, oh, that's great. I've never, that's something that I never even thought of, and I've been around the sport for a while. So, and clearly it's working. Clearly it's working.
No, he's an absolute savage. So he just
So
needs to get a little bit meaner, but I think
yeah,
he's finally getting that.
Yeah.
Which is why he blast doubled me the other day, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. These kids, I should have taken my chances on him when he was like 7 or 8 when I had the shot,
Oh no, I was so mean to him. Like I was like, come on, like fight me. Like, like I would like just bully him. And now I really regret it. Like, oh, I can't go with you anymore. Like you're gonna break my arm. You're so big.
Man.
He like
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I'm so happy to see us succeeding though. So, but I did want to say one thing. So, like obviously, we both spent a lot of time at ATT, and I always, when you came, that was like towards the end of when I was training full time and I was coaching full time.
Yeah.
And like when high profile athletes come into ATT, or any big gym, you see a lot of them, they want to pick and choose, their training sessions. They want to hit pads and everything. They want to cherry pick their training partners. You never did that. You came in and you wanted to be part of the team, and
Absolutely.
you were there for everybody, now you're like the team captain, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when Woods, you were training with a couple of the amateurs, and Woods lost his fight, and he came up, he's an amateur, he's not in the pros, and why the hell weren't you coming to hit me up to train? You were training against a wrestler, and you meant it. I wanted to be there for him.
Yeah.
And he's a good kid. I just saw him a couple months ago at Publix.
He is a good kid. I miss him.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, my philosophy and my mentality is like, first of all, I think that a huge misconception in MMA or in solo sports is that you do it alone. Like, yeah, you're the only one that steps in the cage, but the reality is it takes a village, it takes a team behind the team, and it takes way more than just the coaches. There's so many people who are invested in your dream and who play a pivotal role in helping make you successful. So, although you do have to be pretty selfish and self-centered, it takes a team to get to the top. I know that for a fact. I've seen it many times in my judo career. And I think the other thing is like, of course, like I had so many people help me along the way to get to where I am now. You know, like I was once a broke six. I was once a woods, you know, like I was
Hmm.
once showing up, getting my butt kicked and
Hmm.
not knowing what I was doing and like a little shy and didn't have confidence. And so many people helped me, you know, like monetarily, technique wise, mentality wise. There were so many people who played a pivotal role and they didn't ever want anything from me. They just wanted me to pay it forward. And that's
Hmm.
kind of how I see it now. You know, I get to pay it forward to guys like Woods or Chase or, you know, Brandon or like all these young kids who are coming up. Um, I consider it a huge honor for me to pay it forward and to help be maybe just a small part in their success in their careers. You know,
Well,
that's kind of what
absolutely.
I enjoy,
I
actually.
remember
You
when you came on the mat, like it, just the whole team just because
know?
we're just happy you were there. So yeah, we appreciate that.
I
But I know
also
what you
love
mean.
what I do. You know, like
Yeah,
I just so happen to love MMA. It's just
yeah.
such an amazing. I never thought I would be doing this and getting
Hmm.
paid to do it. Like I'm living the dream. You know,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
have a
That's
lot to be happy about.
awesome. Yeah, I remember I was the same way. Like when I started wrestling, I think I won like 6 matches my freshman year, and then like just put the time in, like but like you said, like people believed in me, and I put it back. And by the time
Mm,
I was a
mm,
senior, I was state runner up, I was All American, and I had kids that were just trying to push me that were like, and then people coming back in the room from college, like come
yeah,
on Quinn, let's go, like just
yeah,
people like you said, paying it forward, and like and like when I feel like there's times where you can't always like you're always motivated, but sometimes it's different things that get you through it. Like, like
for sure.
sometimes like when I wasn't motivated for myself, I didn't want to let this teammate down, this coach down.
Absolutely.
Just
No,
find different
it's
things to
important
get
to
you
build
through.
that. It's important to build that kind of environment as well. You know, you
Hmm.
want a healthy training environment and you want people to, you want to be dependable, you want to be reliable, and you want people to hold you accountable. So, for me, that starts with myself, right? Like I can't ask people to come train with me and be my drilling partner if I'm not willing to go be their drilling partner. Like
Yes.
leadership leads by example. So it's my job to say, hey, let me know if you need a drilling partner. Oh, you have a fight coming up. Do you need help cutting weight? Do you need this? Do you need that? How can I help? Um, it, it starts at the top and trickles down. And I'm not
Right.
even at the top. I feel like every day I come in and I'm a humble student just trying to get better. So it's
Well, that's
a
what
good
keeps you going.
environment. We got a good thing at ATT.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I, like you said, like there is times where you got to be selfish, but the right people that are around you, they know they know when you're appropriately being selfish,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what it
Now
comes
listen,
down
like a
to.
week before my fight, like nobody
Yeah.
talked to me. But
Yeah.
other than that,
You got to eat, you know.
yeah.
So, all right, let's circle back to talking about okay, so judo obviously, so you're a two-time Olympic champion. Did you win worlds as well? I didn't.
Yeah. So briefly, my I'll just give you a little bit of my. I won the junior worlds when I was 18. I won the senior worlds when I was 20. I won the Olympics when I was 22, and then repeated again in 2016. And I have, I think, 5 world medals, 2 junior world medals, 2 Olympic medals, and I medaled or won. I won every event on the judo. Um, there's like a world tour, the judo
Hmm.
world tour circuit. So I won every tournament except for one, actually.
Gotcha. Awesome, awesome. So, and I was just thinking about this before. Like I know, like in wrestling, like we always had like a nemesis, so to speak, like somebody
Hmm.
who we knew we were going to see. Oh, I'm going to see them at Pan Am's. I'm going to see them at
Yeah,
City. Did you ever have a nemesis or somebody from somewhere
I
in the
have
world
several.
well, now everybody wants to be your nemesis. Yeah, but I know
Yeah,
what you mean.
it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so there were really 4 of us that kind of set ourselves apart from the rest of the pack in
Hmm.
judo. It was myself, the French girl Audrey Chumeo, the Brazilian girl Myra Aguiar, and then there was also a Japanese girl who kind of was there and then not there, Okari Ogata. So those 4, but there's usually like a really tough Japanese girl always. Like,
Right. Okay. Mhm.
but those 4 really, and I would say out of all of them, Myra, the Brazilian, was actually my biggest rival.
Gotcha. Cool. Do you keep in touch with them ever, or are they just doing their own thing now?
Audrey and I actually, we're like, I don't talk to her a ton, but you know, I talk to her about how judo is going. She's still competing and stuff
Cool.
like that. We actually, that's who I fought. It's funny. It's really poetic, life sometimes. It's like, so in the very first major final was my junior worlds. And
Hmm.
I competed against Audrey in that in 2008. And then in 2016, we fought in the finals of the Olympics as well. So like I started my career with her and I ended it with her, which was pretty cool. So we keep in touch a little bit. She's super cool girl. Love her a lot. Myra and I, not so much.
Hmm. It could be. Yeah, well, they are a rival, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, not that I have any ill will or anything towards her.
Mhm.
I think just, um, yeah, no, we were never like buddies. Audrey is like just such a super cool girl and like really great personality that we were always friendly. But
Is
I
she
mean, I
still
wanted to
competing
beat
at
her.
the Olympic and world level?
Audrey is and Myra is. I haven't been following super closely to how they are.
Okay.
I don't think that Audrey went to this past Olympics. I think
Hmm.
she got beat out by another French girl for the
Hmm.
spot. But I do believe she's still competing. She's going to go for one more. I think
Gotcha.
it's in Paris, so she's like, I gotta.
For
I
sure,
gotta.
yeah, awesome. Well, now I got someone to watch now. So, let's talk more about judo. Judo to me, is like one of the most interesting styles of martial arts. And
Yeah,
I got into it when I started training MMA and jujitsu. But I remember my first judo session. I did it with Alex Davis, and I
yeah,
remember my back was hurting for like 3 days. And I thought I was in shape. I'm like, I wrestled in college. I
yeah,
did MMA training. This
yeah,
is nothing. It's not the same. And even though
yeah.
you know how to land, it's a lot. Like so. Oh
Judo's
yeah, just
tough on
talk
the
about
body, man. Judo is
yeah,
tough on the
yeah,
body.
yeah, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna train. That's gonna be my next black belt. It's gonna be in judo, and then I was like, this is gonna be really tough to do while I'm training full time.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's like there. Yeah, I think first of all, just like trying to do any discipline at a high level, like
hmm.
multiple disciplines, is really difficult. That's why, like, I always was like I kind of said to Clarissa Shields because she's
Hmm.
boxing and she's doing an MMA career, and I was like, man, I know you want to do it all, but I think you kind of got to pick one because let me tell you, they're both going to suffer if you're not 100% devoted to them.
Right.
Like I could never in a million years train how I trained for the Olympics and compete in MMA
Hmm.
and be the level that I want to be at, like it just would never, it's not going to be possible. But yeah, judo it's a bitch.
Yeah.
Like I mean, wrestling is very similar, obviously, like just
Hmm.
the physicality of it and stuff. Um, but for sure, judo is, I actually, because I started so young, when you go to the Olympics, the Olympic Committee flies you out. Like if you're kind of higher level, they fly you out and they do a bunch of tests on your body and your,
Hmm.
VO2 max and this and that and bone density and da 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 da. And my bone density from being thrown in the impact over the last 20 years is like 300% above average or something.
Wow.
Like it's like just like, so when I say I'm big boned, I'm literally big boned.
That's crazy. That is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of judo, I know I texted you about, but I was doing a judo session with Sean Thornton the other day, and
Oh
we were,
yeah.
doing, yeah, and like we were just like, well, I see Sean on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. We do jujitsu and judo together. But
That's awesome.
we're all doing it, and no one really knows. And then he just goes to me, "How bad would Kayla just smash everybody here on their head?" I'm like,
No, I
pretty
know.
bad.
Sean is like, he's a tough guy, but I'm like, dude, he has no idea. Like he like likes to like, oh, because he was a fighter for
Yeah,
for hockey. I'm like, bro, I would clean your cock. Like, I don't care how big you are. Big trees fall hard, son. Like, if you can't punch me, you don't stand a chance. Like,
yeah. And Sean is not one to shy away from shit talking.
no,
So.
I know. I know. He's funny.
Yeah, we want to get with you and do some judo sometime. By the way, we want
Oh
to
my
get
God.
sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we want to
the
do
funny thing is, I have been trying to start like a kids program
it. Hmm.
because my daughter did judo in Ohio and she really wants to keep doing it. And they, as you know, they don't have the recreational classes of jujitsu at ATT anymore. So I'm
Hmm.
like, I really want her to do some martial arts. So I was like, you know what? F it. I'll run a judo class and I'll just invite like the Mako's kids and some of the kids from church and like some of her friends, and
Cool.
we'll just make it like a small thing. And we'll, you know, I have a key to the gym. Like I'll do
Yeah.
it when I want.
I think
you
that's a
know?
great idea.
But
I think that's a great idea.
Man, I am like, this mom life, this single mom life ain't for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that. Like,
yeah,
we got
you're
soccer.
a busy person as it is.
Yeah. I mean, I like messed up and I was helping coach her soccer team.
Man.
And then I actually started helping coach her track team a little bit. And she has soccer, track, ballet, physical therapy. I'm training twice a day. We also have a 3-year-old who's like hell on wheels and like full of energy from sun up to sundown. So, and somewhere in between all of that, I gotta like remember to feed all of us and like bathe all of us, and it's chaos. It's chaos in the Harrison household right now. But her soccer season just ended. Track is over this week, and I think hopefully here soon, now that everything is settling down again, we'll be able to get some judo up and running. But yeah, I'll invite you and Sean. You guys can be like my
all right, we'll go with
and
the
you can
kids.
bring your son. He can run around to the mat with Emery. We'll just like, it'll be like a free for all.
You know, I took him to see the wrestling club the other day, and he just zoned in, and then he just wanted to run on the mat. I'm like, buddy, this is the high school. You can't. But he was in the zone. He was looking. So hopefully we'll get him in there.
No, Emery for sure is gonna like. I'm like Mako. Like, can I just dump? Like, he's blonde. He looks just like all your kids. Like, just let him on the mat, man, because he is rough and tumble. Like he's 3 and he's only 10 pounds lighter than his sister who's 9. He's a big boy. He's friggin' like high energy, crazy. He like loves to do judo with me and like does like ground and pound on his stuffed animals and stuff. And I'm like, oh dude, like please don't beat up anybody at school. Like
So okay, we went over the judo. So when did you decide MMA's next? After the Olympics, you're like, you want to start competing, you want to compete something fresh. Was that just the next step?
I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't really plan on doing MMA. Like my judo coaches were very against it at the time. They just felt like I had done enough. You know, I was dating someone who I thought I was going to get married to and have kids with and kind of like settle down. I had started a foundation. I was supposed to go work for the International Judo Federation. So there was kind of like a different path that maybe I could have gone down, but I just didn't feel like I was done. You know, I knew I was done with judo. I was so burnt out. I was so drained and tired of it and just like over it. But, you know, the night that I won the Olympics, I woke up with a panic attack because I was just like, oh my God, what's next? Like, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? And my boyfriend at the time was like, Kayla, like, breathe. Like, you just relax. But I'm not really built that way. You know, like I kind of need a goal. I need something to wake up for. I need that motivation, that thing to wake up and say that, all right, I'm chasing this. And MMA was just, it was there. You know, I was also teammates with Rhonda at one point, and I saw how successful she was and how she was able to monetize it in such a fantastic way, and what a platform she was given. And I was like, man, if I had a platform like that, you know, what would I do with it? Like, how would I use it? What good could I create? And so, like, probably a couple months after the Olympics, like in 2017, so like maybe 6 months after the Olympics, I went to my first training session and I just like hit pads for the first time. And then and then I kept going. I was like really out of shape. I had been like sitting on the couch, depressed, I was like not waking. I went from like waking up at 5 a.m. every day to like not setting an alarm, like watching Netflix all day. I was like, I was depressed. I had a lot of like speaking events and things to do, but other than that, I just like sat in a dark room pretty much all day. So when I started training, I really I got excited. It felt good to like just to move my body and to use my body and learn something new. Like I was so excited about it. And about a month after I started hitting pads, I went to my first sparring session, and this chick freaking punched me right in the mouth, and I was like, oh yeah, it's on. Like I just like blast doubled her, and I was like, let's do this. Like, and I think shortly after that, I signed a contract and said, yeah, I'm gonna fight.
I got a chipped tooth from my first sparring session. It was like, yeah, I could spar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do want to talk about the transition, but you actually brought something up that I think would be good for some other people to hear. You
Hmm.
brought up how you were a little depressed after you won and
Hmm.
what's next. And people don't realize that happens a lot with
Yeah.
people like yourself, that they win that world championship, you
Yep.
multiple times, and it's just, do I want to repeat? Because
Yeah.
like you said, you're at the top. Where do you go next? You found something to get you back to get into a groove. Um, Maybe you can get into just like getting back on. You don't have to get too much into like the depression part, but like that might help some people.
No, for sure. I think too, like one thing that I would like people to know is, at the time, that was what I needed. I needed something to get up out of bed for. But now looking back, I realized that it was kind of like a coping mechanism, right? Like
Hmm.
I was like constantly searching for outside validation and external rewards and like a shiny gold medal and MMA, and if I do this, it'll be enough, and if I do this, I'll be happy, and if I do that, I'll be happy. And
Hmm.
it wasn't until I got older I kind of started like realizing like nothing was making me happy. You know,
Hmm.
millions of dollars and being on the highest stage of athletics for years and still not quite feeling at peace with myself, that I realized, okay, maybe I need to try something different. Not that I don't still want to be the best and I don't still want to achieve things,
For
but
sure.
maybe that's not the key to happiness after all. Maybe it's like something totally different, like, you know, being able to love yourself as is, and I
Yeah.
think that the more we talk about mental health and the more we delve into these topics and research, the more we realize that number one, our childhoods play a major role in who we become.
Hmm.
0 to 7 is pretty much going to create who you are as a human, and then you kind of just repeat those processes over and over and over again. But for me, it was kind of learning to like take all of that take all of that and like be okay with it, but
Hmm.
and be like, all right, what do I really need? Like what's actually, what am I trying to accomplish here by being perfect, by saying yes to everyone, by overachieving? Like what do I really
Hmm.
need? Dude, you need to love yourself. Like
Yeah.
you need to just like be happy with who you are. Like you're not perfect. No human is, but that doesn't mean every human being has inherent worth and value. Like
Hmm.
you're a human. You deserve to love yourself. And once I realized that, and I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm not like Eckhart Tolle, like I'm not some like Zen, like
Hmm.
Buddhist, like living on a mountain in pure peace. Like I struggle with it every day. I still get depressed. I still get down. I still whatever. But I think that being able to face it and realize that it's something I personally have to decide to work on, um, made all the difference. And it's not like I just like snapped my fingers and got out of it. I work at it every day. The same way that I train is
Hmm.
kind of how I try to work on my mentality towards myself and towards depression. Like now I meditate every day, and I'm Christian, so I read a Bible verse every day and I get back into the word. And because I think I struggle with self-love and self-worth, I
Hmm.
out every day to myself the reasons I love myself. Like I say them out loud. I positively affirm like why I'm a good person, not because of what I've achieved, but just because of who I am.
That's great. I
Yeah,
think that's great.
like that. I
You know,
just like tiny steps every day towards like feeling better internally, and then as a result externally everything is better too. Like the happier I am with myself, just being me, the better I fight, the better mom I am, the more peace
mhm.
I am. It's pretty wild.
No, it is. Anxiety is something that I suffer with, so I know what you mean. And it's
Mm,
true what they say. Happiness is an inside job. You really got to, and like it's like you and I, we spent a lifetime working on our external fitness. You
mm,
got to take that time to work on that mental fitness, that spiritual fitness. And like everyone at the gym will tell you, I was the worst with cutting weight.
Mm,
I could be like 9 pounds away a week. Oh no, I'm not gonna have that slice pizza because I just convinced myself
yeah.
because I'm thinking about what's happening 9 days away
Yeah.
instead of what's where my feet are, you know.
Yeah.
And so I know, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
The
it
number,
really is okay to stop and smell the roses.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
that honestly, that's been the hard thing for me to do is like whatever it is I'm feeling, I have to force myself sometimes to just sit with it.
Mhm.
Judge it, not fix it, not change it, not
Mhm.
or not make it worse. Like I sometimes just sit with it. Okay, I'm really fucking sad today. Just sit with it. Like what? Like just sit with it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to like go for a 10-mile run. You don't have to go train harder. Like, or if I'm anxious, that's what I do when I'm anxious. I'm like, oh my God, I need to do something. I need to clean the whole house. I need to do this. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just slowing everything down and sitting with it and being still. Eventually, like it's very painful for me.
Mhm.
It's very, very painful to
To
have
deal.
to be so painfully aware of how I feel, I think, like
Yeah.
I did for so many years, I spent so much time like numbing it, like, okay, I'm going to be better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to be this. I'm
Right.
going to be
Right.
perfect. And so like to actually sit and feel my feelings is so hard, but so worth it. Like
Mhm.
I've never been more at peace, I've never
Yeah.
like I won't say happy, like happiness is like a journey, I think. It's not really a destination, but
Mhm.
I've never been more at peace with who I am and what I stand for, like who Kayla Harrison is.
I love it. Yeah. That's I know what you mean. Like, yeah, it's like you really need to feel what that animosity is within, because then you're going to
Mhm.
deal with it as
Yep.
opposed to, oh, I'm going to go for that run. I'm going to,
Yeah.
do a coping mechanism because that's still
Yeah.
going to be there later. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head. So, all right, back to the MMA stuff. That was great. I hope that helps somebody out there. So thank you so much. The transition to MMA. Now, I know when I started, I had just finished wrestling in college. My stance was square. I
Mm,
was so damn tight.
mm,
Oddly enough, with the jiu-jitsu, being on my back didn't really bother me.
mm-hmm.
Um, but it was carrying my weight forward. I was constantly getting swept and shit like that. But like I said, I was tired. I didn't know what head movement was. Honestly, I didn't have good head movement until probably my 10th professional fight.
Mm.
What are some of the issues you think you had?
Oh, I mean, yeah, all of the above.
Yeah.
um, for sure, like to me, the number one thing is learning to relax. Not even
Mm-hmm.
like allowing myself to relax and like um uh, for sure I struggled for my first 5 fights, I think, with like um cardio, and not because I wasn't training hard, but because I was so tense.
Mm-hmm.
The more tense you are, the more energy you're burning, the harder you throw your punches, the more like
Yeah.
that, and that wears you out a lot faster than if you're just like calm, cool, collected, relaxed, like loose as a goose, just
Mm-hmm.
flowing. So learning to relax was a big one for me. Definitely just like I think the other huge issue for me when I first started was range, right? Like the different ranges of
Yes.
MMA.
Right.
There's out, there's
Mm-hmm.
in, and there's this in the middle, like, and all of those,
Yeah.
like, kind of developing that and developing that awareness. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would either be all the way in or all the way out, and like I
Mm-hmm.
could never like understand the it took me a long time to get comfortable, I think, and relaxed enough to be able to stand at range or like know the different ranges and what
What to
weapons
do
we
and where.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
I know. Yeah, by the way, I know I said I was going to talk shit about George in here but he actually called me the very next day, so we reconnected. So I can't. Well, I'm still going to talk shit about him anyway.
I mean, I'm gonna be nice to him. I told him I'm gonna be nice to him until his fight with Colby, because I'm a team player and I'm here to support. So yeah,
I'm not going to be that
we
nice
don't
to
have to talk shit to we don't have
him.
to talk shit about Jorge.
Yeah. No, he called
He
me. I'm
knows who the
glad.
team captain is, though. I'll say that. Like he knows.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said he knows who the team captain is. I'll
Yeah.
just say that. He knows who Daddy is.
Man, he used to beat. Well, used to. He beat the shit out of me. Like when I remember when I first moved down here, that range you're talking about, like
Yeah.
when I felt that I was in my comfort range, that wrestling
Yeah.
square up.
Yeah.
I'd take that deep breath and finally where I want to be, bop, 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 and I'm
Yeah,
like,
dude. Yeah. He just
what the
fired.
hell is this shit?
I
You know.
know.
And then when I think he's in front of me, he's over here, like
Yeah.
you know, like in the cartoons with the gophers, you're trying to hit them and then they're over
Yeah.
here. Like that's what it's like training George. But I know what you mean. So I mean, then I developed in my head like my rule of thumb was when the feet stop moving, the head starts moving,
Mm,
and
I like
that
that.
kind of helped me. That kind of helped me with things. And then I was never going to be a pretty boxer. I just
Right.
I'm a wrestler. My arms are big. They're slow. So I just really try to move my head with like every other punch or whatever, and
Mhm.
that kind of helped a lot. And then move my feet with my punches when I had to get in, and of
Yeah.
course know when I'm in clinch range and stuff like that, and make it ugly. And that
Yeah.
kind of actually watching well Mike Brown, as you know, watching a lot of his stuff, and Daniel Cormier's kind of showed me how to help with my entry on stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Hmm.
that's like such a huge. I'm the same, you know, like I'm never going to be like this world class striker or like a knockout artist or like
Hmm.
anything like that. But we spend a very, very large chunk of time developing entries into where I want to be, you know, into the clinch, into the takedown, into this, into that, and fine tuning them, perfecting them, learning the timing of them, learning the just
Hmm.
all these little things that I mean, I've been drilling the same fucking move with Mike Brown for I don't know, 3 years now. Like,
Yeah.
and it's still not perfect, but one day I'm gonna hit it, and it's gonna be the most beautiful thing in the whole world, and he's gonna be like, ah, and like, it'll be like, oh, it was all worth it.
I,
But yeah, that's true. One of the very first things Mike taught me was, you know, the head movement, like just like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, you know, just stay relaxed and move your head. When in doubt, move your head.
Yeah, that's it. I remember when I first started when he started like coaching, I had this weird problem where I would just well, I used to try to slip the jab a lot because my only setup for takedowns, even like my fifth, sixth, seventh pro fight, I would just shoot under punches. Like that was the only
Yeah,
setup.
yeah.
So I had this bad habit. I mean, I slipped jabs, but I had this bad habit of just constantly I would tick. I wouldn't go tick tock. I would go tick.
Uh,
Tick.
uh,
And then finally one day he just wham his big right hand just and I was like, oh, he's like, go another way, please. And like then I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right, coach. You know,
you gotta learn the hard way.
yeah. So that's how it is with that. But no, it's a fun process, like you said. And then as soon as like you like when you start seeing those punches and mix it in, it
Hmm.
makes your takedowns and your throws so much better.
Yeah,
And
sure.
it's really crazy. It's not the same.
It's so funny for me. Like, I don't know if you felt like this, but like
Hmm.
I'll get something and I'll start to like whoop ass at it. And our gym is so high level and so competitive and so like,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm like pretty jacked up. Like I've been sparring Pedro Munoz for a couple weeks now. And it was
Hmm.
like, I was really jacked up. Like all of the stuff that I had been trying to work on was starting to work. And like, no, not today. Not today, son. Like, you know, like it's just like as soon as you have an answer, a week later they have an answer to your
Yeah.
answer, and then you got to go figure out which. It's human chess, you know. It's human chess. Like I had this move on the cage on the wall, like that would work bread and butter forever, and
Hmm.
now every single person at the gym fucking knows how to get out of it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like now I got to go develop something else. Well, really,
Well,
Mike and I, or Mike and somebody, you know, develop something else. It's like it's a lot of fun, and it's a never-ending process of growth. And I mean, to me, that's why I love like it's just like life, you know, like you're constantly evolving and changing, and
mhm.
you don't, you're gonna get your ass whooped. So
Well, one thing Mike
evolve,
is so
die.
good at is like I remember like years ago, like 2011, I used to watch fights with him and he would see something and be like, "Oh my God, that looks
Mhm.
great. Let's drill it." And it'd be something so simple. Like Mike really loves mixed martial arts. Like he really loves the sport, really loves just that chess match. He loves it. That's
No,
why he's such a
he
great
could
coach.
win the lottery tomorrow and he would still be at practice, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's just like obsessed. He's a true student of the sport and the game,
Yeah.
and he spends way more time than is like socially acceptable
Yeah.
watching fights and like,
He
you know,
loves it. I
God
remember
bless his girlfriend because
he had
she
this
is a
hard drive
freaking
of like
nerd.
all these old
Yeah, so he
fights.
he films all my sparring. I'm watching it with him tomorrow morning. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, he's a huge student of the game. We actually even tonight, like we drilled something because he was like, oh, I saw this and I want to see if this works for your problem with this. Like, he's just always like,
Yeah,
always
yeah.
thinking. It's
And,
great.
and so
That's
good
why
with picking stuff up and be like, let's try this. Let's work this
yeah.
in. And if it doesn't work, we throw it out. You know,
And
like,
he's really good too about like, well, what do you think? And make
mm,
it yours. You know, how
yeah,
does it feel? Try this, maybe try that. Play around with it. That's his favorite thing to say to me. Play around with it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
me, like, I'm such a meathead. I'm like, don't tell me. Just tell me what to do. Like,
I'm like you. I'm like,
don't give me any
coach.
creative license. Like, I don't
Yeah,
want creative license. Like, I just want to like
yeah.
tell me how to get there.
You're the coach. I'm just doing it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. You
I
stand
don't
up, I
think.
say how high. That's it.
Yeah, you remind me of a famous Roddy Piper quote. He used to say, uh, "Oh, when as soon as you think you have the answer, I change the questions." That's like training at ATT.
Oh
Like,
my
it's just,
gosh, that is it in a nutshell. That's it, 100%. Which
yeah,
is good, you know. It's a fantastic, but can be also be super frustrating someday.
yeah. No, I hear that. So, Kayla, hey, listen, I know you got a big day tomorrow. I really appreciate you joining me after the kids.
Yeah,
Definitely want to bother you for a judo session sometime.
for sure. We will
Yeah,
get
so
it. We'll get it done.
yeah, and
Uh,
I'm gonna try and when my schedule frees up and trying to figure out any excuse I can to get over at ATT. I
yeah,
really miss
and we miss
training.
you. You got to come
Yeah,
back. You know,
awesome, awesome. I
there's
appreciate it. Cool.
a lot of new faces, but some old ones too. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I see that. Now I got these like, and like, well, the thing is, like, I don't want to be one of those guys. Like, I know people come in there all the time. Oh, I know Dan, I know Richie, and like, I don't. Actually, it's funny. I went to go hit the bag, and this kid was up front, and I'm knocking on the door, and I'm like, fuck, I'm that guy, and I'm like, I go to him, I go, I know
oh
you hear this a lot. I really know everybody in here.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm not
he's
that
like,
guy. I'm not that guy.
he goes, the bag's over there. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool, man. Like,
Yeah, thank you.
so,
Yeah.
but
So,
no, so like, I don't like, I don't want to go in and like, I'm not just gonna invite myself to like a wrestling or jujitsu class if I'm not like ready in
dude,
shape.
come
I,
on. You're
I
just
ain't gonna slow people down. I
you're
ain't
not
gonna
gonna
slow people
slow
down.
anybody down. Are you kidding me? You may not be as good as you once was, but you're as good once as you ever was. You could go
All
work
right,
them.
all right. I got a couple of like you said, those one trick pony moves.
That's right. Bag of tricks. You got a bag of tricks.
That's I'm
Just
gonna
bring
whip
them
them all
out for
out.
one sesh and then disappear for a month and then come back.
Yeah. Oh, I submitted you. What do you rank in the world? All right,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
right,
go later.
motherfucker.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
tell my wife. So, all right. Have a good night. Thank you
Hey,
so
thank you. You
much.
too. Thanks so much for having me. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Later.
See ya.